Hey everyone, how are you doing? Cheers. I don't even know what time it is. It is now 8 minutes past 11 on Monday morning. On Saturday, I had the pleasure of going to an MLM event, and actually Ray Higdon was speaking. This was in Manchester, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 pages of notes. Absolutely fantastic day. If you don't know who I am, my name's Paul Turner. I'm a marketer in the UK. Very briefly, let me just tell you this. It's been a dream of mine and my wife Lorraine's to go and live in Cornwall, which if you're not in the UK, it's a beautiful part of the UK. We've got a house that's 2.5 miles from the beach. Is that calling? I'll have to wait. So we've got a house that's 2.5 miles from the beach. We're moving there early next month. So we've actually only got about, I think it's about 17 days left in this house, which is pretty scary because I've still got to sort out broadband, so I have some moving and stuff like that. However, what's got the point, what's got us there is this amazing industry. Okay, so and it's been a real journey in terms of working on myself, self-development, in terms of building the business, going through lots of lessons, learning, etc., etc. So this is why, guys, it's important to try and get to events. It's important to always be learning, and I'll cover that, no doubt, more as I go through these notes. Okay, so now I'm going to keep these notes brief, and my intention is maybe to expand a little bit on them. Maybe I might do a video a day for the next few days until I've run out of content, but I've got a lot of people that have been asking, you know, what was it like, what did he say, and a lot of people wanting the information. Well, first of all, you should have gone, if you're in the UK, you should have got there somehow. I know that's not always possible though, so please don't think I'm being, you know, confrontational or whatever. If you get the chance to speak, Ray, speak, just do it. Just do it, just get there, okay? So, compound effect, okay? I'm just going to whiz through. You'll no doubt get some wisdom. No doubt some of it you'll want to know more about. Some of it you probably won't get because I can't even read my own writing, let alone anything. so this will be fun. One, Ray is a big believer in the compound effect. Every day he's always looking to do better than he did the day before. Because if you keep improving, if you think about it, guys, and you just get like even 0.5% improvement every day, in 200 days, that's less than a year, you've got 100% improvement, okay? And some days you'll do more than 0.5%. Drama kills checks. Now, he mentioned this later on, but I'll make the point now, okay? What happens with drama is company will change the compensation plan, and then we have Facebook groups. Everybody will talk about it. Everybody. Oh my God, I can't believe they've changed the plan. Oh, I think it's better. Oh, I'm not sure. I think it's worse. Well, let me tell you why I think it's better. Oh, let me tell you why I think it's worse. What will happen with this? What happens if somebody does this? What happens if somebody does that? And the drama carries on, you know, and the people that are successful go, yeah, the comp plan changed. Yeah, but don't you think, well, I'll just work with what I've got. That's what I've got. I still believe in the company. I still believe in the industry. What's changed? Well, the comp plan's changed. I know, but so what? That's what it is now. Is that going to stop me being successful? And they don't get drawn into the drama, okay? They get on with building their business. That is their focus, building the business, okay? That's their focus. They don't spend hours in the chat room talking about stuff. They go out and they build their business, okay? Rituals equals results. I'm a big believer in habits. I used to teach my guys when I worked in a made-to-measure blinds company. I used to look after reps, basically, that used to have their own businesses. And, you know, I would say to them, listen, your habits or rituals, your habits are what make you successful, because when you get up in the morning, it doesn't matter how you feel. You go and you brush your teeth, don't you? You get dressed, you know, you use the bathroom, you make breakfast. You know, that happens every day. It's just it's a ritual, it's a habit. It doesn't matter if you're tired, you feel ill, whatever. You generally are going to do that. Same with business. If you get in the habit of always contacting 5 people a day, it becomes a habit. Okay? Doesn't matter what happens. Oh, it's a habit. I've done my 5 today. I'll move on. Okay? So you've got to get your habits because that's what keeps you going. So he realizes that every dollar he makes has come because he's impacted someone's life. He's impacted their life some way, whether it be a training, a product, or a service. Okay, he's helped somebody. So this is why he wants to make a lot of money. The more money he makes, the more he knows he's impacted and helped somebody, the more impact he's had on people's lives. Why network marketing? He said one of the big problems with network marketing is the tax bill, because your expenses are so incredibly low. And I've heard Ray speak before that this is the good thing and the bad thing about network marketing. The cost of entry is so low that anybody can do it. That's sometimes where the industry sometimes gets a bad name. Because if it costs, you don't get a lot of bad press about McDonald's franchisees that spend $1 million to get their own McDonald's. You don't hear. There was a Burger King franchise up for sale in Nottingham, which is kind of our nearest city. It's about 26 miles away. And that was probably about 10 years ago, actually, because I was still at another job, but about 10 years ago. And that was for sale for £750,000. That's over $100,000 now. Okay. £750,000 that was up for. Okay. It's probably worth about $1.5 million now, I guess. People that invest at that level make it work. They just do. Okay. What, $200? You know, that you can get started in network marketing for $200. More serious, you know, you can pay $1,000, you can pay $20,000 for various programs out there now. Okay, but the risk is so low. And also another thing is they've got the shipping sorted out, they've got the customer support sorted out, they've got the human resources sorted out for the staff, because you don't have to employ staff anyway. Okay, they've got all the admin, they've got all the payroll sorted out for you. Everything is sorted for you. You just pay your money, you go and promote your business. That's all you need to do. Okay, everyone has a chance to make money. Okay, he gave us a tip: get out of your head, get rid of all the excuses that you've got, just go and recruit. I was just listening to, well, I've still got the last bit to go, but Robert Hollis is one of my mentors that I listen to. And this is an exclusive weekly thing he does for members of his Life Mechanic University. But he was just telling a story about a guy that, you know, said he couldn't do video because he spoke in broken English and nobody could understand him. And this was on video talking to Robert, and he goes, well, how are we communicating? I can understand you. And they were on video talking to each other. Okay, so get rid of all the excuses. I can't do video. Do a video of yourself saying why you can't do a video. You've done a video. Okay. Don't be envious of others. Be grateful and congratulate them. Get rid of that negativity. Okay, you will never become that which you despise. You will never become that which you despise. I love that. You know, it's okay for you. You've got this, you've got this. You're never going to be that person. Okay. He talked about a personal breakthrough he had in Fiji. Okay, I won't talk about his personal breakthrough, okay, but when you get people that are struggling, okay, ask them. If you heard that, that's the window cleaner. But if you have people, every time he has a major breakthrough, generally it's preceded by a major breakdown, okay. So he's realized this, okay, and whenever things are going wrong, he can kind of take a step back and go, what am I learning from this that's going to propel me forward, okay? And a lot of you, I know that I have needed to do that, okay, certainly in my online career. But the questions to ask are, why did you start? What is the alternative? So if you ever find that going gets a bit tough, why did I start? What was it for? Why did I start? It's because I wanted to do this. I wanted to move to Cornwall, okay? What is the alternative? Okay, where I'm at, I'm kind of struggling now maybe, but I can learn what's the alternative. I go back and get a job where I can never move to Cornwall because there aren't enough jobs down there that would make me enough money that I need to do everything I want to do. So basically there wasn't an alternative for me. Okay, right, okay, how to crush it on social media, what not to do. He talks again about how he went for 20 no's a day. That was his thing. Okay, More people, guys, are going to say no than yes. That's just a fact. And I speak to people and they go, well, I spoke to this one guy. Okay, so his thing was, whatever I'm going to do, I'm going to go for 20 no's a day. And it almost threw him off guard when somebody said yes. He once went a week without a yes. So he went 20 no's a day for a whole week. Everybody said no, which was kind of the aim. But then one day he got 5 yeses. Now, what he mentioned, I'm not sure if it's in this bit, actually, I don't think it is. Oh, yeah, it is. When he says what he sees a lot is somebody will recruit somebody and then they go celebrate. Yeah, I've just got to sign up. Awesome day. But that energy, okay, carries you forward. And I can give you a personal experience of this. When I used to sell computers for a living, PC World, for those of you in the UK will know PC World probably, we always used to have this thing, and it's kind of self-belief, but on a Saturday morning, Saturday was your busiest day. That's when you could make your good commissions. If somebody came in early and you made a sale, the first customer you spoke to, generally you would have a good day. And you would, because you were on fire. The energy was there. Hey, I've already made a sale. It's not even like 9:30. It's going to be a good day. And likewise, if you didn't sell the first customer, generally that would set you up for a bad day. Okay, now that's a self-belief thing, and when I look back, it's kind of crazy. Okay, but we're human. We're all human. You're naturally going to be on fire when you've had a success. So bear that in mind. So what not to do? Don't stop recruiting when you've recruited. Keep recruiting. Go for it even more. And he went a week with all no's, and then one day he got 5 people just like that. Also, bear in mind, guys, if you're building your business, the top recruiters in the industry generally will enroll. I hate the word recruits. I'm sorry, but that's the word he used. So I prefer enroll, introduced. Okay, but generally they will enroll about 30% of the people they speak to. That's 7 no's for 3 yeses. Get that? Yeah, and I see people in our Facebook group, we've been asking what they need help with. And it's like, oh, I can't get anybody, and I look at their timeline and they're not putting stuff out. You're going to get 7 no's for every 3 people that you take on. Okay, at the start, he prospected and marketed. He talks about the difference. Marketing, you want people to come to you. Okay, that is obviously the preferred route. But the problem with that is he spent 6 months doing a blog and putting content out every day. When he was in foreclosure, he would put videos out while he was in foreclosure. It took 6 months for that to work. So he would actually go and instigate conversations with people, okay? And that's prospecting. That's where you go out. And I've done videos on this in the past, active and passive marketing. Putting posts on Facebook is passive. You put it out and you're fishing, you're hoping that you'll attract a fish, okay? Active is when you go and you go out there and you talk to people. It's also the difference between hunting and fishing. Somebody who goes out hunting will generally make a kill and eat that night. Somebody who fishes hopes a fish will come and get the bait. Okay, he can't guarantee he'll catch a fish, but a hunter, he can actively go and find an animal, okay, and shoot it. Not a nice analogy, I know, before you say it, but it's the truth. Hunting and fishing, that's the difference between them. Okay, fishing is a lot easier, but you can't guarantee the fish will come. Okay, or what you're going to catch at the end of the day. Right, okay, what not to do. Don't give away all the mystery by sharing what company you're in. It turns people off as they see it as just selling. People should not be able to use Google to find out everything about what you do. Okay, don't get defensive. If someone bashes you, you're never going to change their mind. So, and I see this where people go, oh, this is a scam. Okay, so then somebody on Facebook will go, no, actually, you haven't checked it out. Our products are this and that and this and that. Oh, well, you are conning people. No, I'm not. There's no point arguing because they're never going to change their mind, okay? They have their beliefs. You have your beliefs, okay? In the industry, we know we're good, okay? But there's no point arguing with people because you will never change their mind. Never send unsolicited links. I've already had 3 today. Okay, and he said sometimes you've got to remember that's the company. The companies are telling people to do that. His aim is he wants to teach the network marketing profession to turn off less people, to be professional, not just spam links. Now this is a good point. Stop using job, just over broke. some people love their job. And there's this thing in the industry where we kind of think that our way is the only way. Where my big thing is freedom. I wanted to get free from my job. It's easy for me to assume that everybody wants to quit their job and live a life of freedom. My wife worked in a school for many years and absolutely loved it. She was changing children's lives. You know, she got to the point where we want to move to Cornwall. She wants to do other things, but she loved her job. She loved her job. Now, if I was trying to prospect my wife, for example, and I didn't know her, and I came and I said, listen, I can get you free from your job, straight away, we're poles apart. She doesn't want to be free from her job. She might need to make an extra $200, $300, $400 to get a car, to save up for holidays, to do whatever. Okay, she might need to do that, but she doesn't necessarily want to quit a job. And some of us, and I've probably been guilty of it, go out there and go, hey, you know, you got a job just over broke, right? You're kind of being detrimental to them. Okay, you have to respect that some people only want to make a small amount of money a month, and that will change their lives beyond belief. And also, he said that some people, they just like being part of something bigger than themselves. They like being part of the community. They like all the positive stuff that you get. Being around positive people, getting to go to events, getting to hear, you know, the leaders speak. They probably never want to be on stage themselves. Okay, so we have to respect that people are happy at different levels. Okay, he also said that actually only about 5% are motivated by money. Okay, there are people in the team that are happy where they are. Okay, so a good question to ask people is, if you had more money, what would you do? Like Robert teaches POP, point of passion, and I teach people, you know, ask them if they were free from their job, what would they do with their time, and that gets you to their passion. Okay, now their passion might be their job, so that's cool, but it depends on how the conversation goes. But basically, find out what they would use the money for, because that is what motivates them. Put my kids through college. I want them to have the best education. It's not really about money, it's about the kids having the best education. I want to go paddle boarding. It's about buying a paddle board and going somewhere to learn paddle boarding. Okay. Right. Okay. The world doesn't pat you on the back. Need to adjust that now. The world doesn't pat you on the back for being smarter. Okay. The world wants to knock you down, to stop you playing big. Okay. Generally, people will applaud you. Oh, well, you know, you tried. You know, people like to keep you down. Okay, basically. Unfortunately, it's the way it is, because we're all hypnosis of the culture. We're all at a certain level, and Ray is encouraging us to play big. Okay. In fact, I'm reading a book, Code of the Extraordinary Mind, and I'm very early into the book, but it plays along those sort of themes. Have I got it handy? No, it's downstairs, but it's a good book. I'd recommend that. Okay. Okay. So you ask them what they want to do, what they'd use the extra money for. And a good question to ask, you might want to write this one down. So if you don't do this, okay, meaning the business. So if you don't join, you know, XXX company, do you have another way to come up with the money? What's your other plan? If you don't do this, what's the alternative? And then he says he's recruited people before that have kind of been no, and he's gone, okay, that's cool. Yeah, it's not for everybody. So if you don't do this, you know, what's the alternative? How are you going to come up with the money? And he said, I've had people that have like thought about it for 30 seconds and go, you know what, you're right. And they've joined. Okay. He talks about managing the energy of the communication. That's probably what he's worked on to be good at. Gave an example. He's had people come, well, why should I join you? And then, of course, and my NLP training plays right into this, their pattern is their expectations. You're going to come back, well, I work hard to answer all your questions. You know, we have this and we do this, and I work with my people, and I promise I'll look after you and I'll help you. To manage the energy of the communication, Ray just goes, well, maybe you shouldn't. Tell you what I can do. If it's not for you, that's cool. And then they're like, oh, they don't expect that. And people appreciate honesty. Okay. Quick drink. Right. How are we doing? Okay, that's not really... right, the energy of any communication and the energy that he puts out there is who's open. It's not about selling. It's just finding people that are open, okay? We have a light at the end of the tunnel. We can at least give them a possibility. Never get tied up on one or two prospects. Keep prospecting. He made this point a few times. It should be a habit. Keep prospecting, keep prospecting, keep prospecting, okay? Say less to more people. If they are open, invite, collect the decision, and leave them on the list unless they are absolute jerks. Okay, so see if they are open, and he gave a line you can use later. I'll give you that. See if they're open, invite them to look at a presentation, collect their decision, leave them on the list unless they're sort of rude, abusive, or adamant that they're never going to join. But he's had people that have said that joined. What you should do on social media, what you should post: inspiration, your journey, and education. He talks about ILT. I have my own version of that, but it's basically the same thing. Invest in yourself. Buy a course. Get Life Mechanic University, for example. It's $99 a month, okay? There's $8,000 worth of courses in there. You take you a good few months to go through it, and Robert does live stuff every single week. Go and invest in Ray Higdon training, okay? Invest in yourself. Learn from it. Read this book, loads of gold nuggets, I can share it. I've invested in myself to go to this event, listen to Ray. I learnt from watching Ray, and now I'm teaching you what I learned, okay? Invest, learn, teach. Awesome philosophy. It's made me a lot of money. I call it list building, but alternative list building. Learn, implement, share, teach. That's what I do. Learn something, implement it, share results, and then teach it. Okay? You attract who you are, not what you want. Okay? Just bear that in mind. You never know who's going to be a top earner. You really don't. The more they tell you what they're going to do, the less they actually do in most cases. And I have seen that a ton. Paul, you watch. You watch. I'm going to break your record, Paul. Cool. And in the early days, I used to get excited about it. Now I'm just like, okay, great. I look forward to seeing it. And often you never hear from them again. The ones that are quiet, just get on with it. They're the ones that impress me, and they make the money. That's the way it is. Okay, Facebook Lives, the fastest way to get in front of people, okay? Facebook Live is his big thing. I know he was big into Periscope, but now it's Facebook Live's taken over for him. How to do a video, real quick. Intro, question, content, call to action. Hey, my name's Paul Turner. I've just been to the MLM Millionaire mentoring event in Manchester. And if you want to know everything that Ray taught us, stick around. In this video, I'm going to tell you, okay? So now I'm giving you the content. So that was the intro. That was the question. Hey, if you want to know what I learned, giving you the content now, and then you put a call to action in. So, hey, if we don't know each other, let's get it on Facebook. Or, hey, if you want to get this book that I mentioned, you can get it for free. You can get a free copy. Or if you want to get Life Mechanic, it will give you an option to get into that as well. Yada, 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 But that's the formula. Intro, question, content, call to action. And if you watch Ray's videos, he does that every day. Every day he tends to put out a video. Okay. Talks about how you can use your notes to do stuff like this. In effect, make content. Okay, then we had a success panel with one of the guys on there. There was Steve Schwartz, Claire Cowan, Carl Amory, and Hazel Calvert. And I don't know those guys except for Steve, who I had the pleasure of meeting. He was on stage shortly, and he came out to meet me, which is pretty good. We had a good chat. Great guy. What he doesn't know seems to me not worth knowing. But okay, so I'll just go through these really quickly. Top tips, 3 things. All pretty much believe in it. Attitude, belief, consistency. Got to have the right attitude. If you really want it, you'll find a way of doing it, not come up with excuses. You have to believe you can do it. Well, if other people can do it, you can do it, okay? And consistency. I really, really struggled with consistency. And one of my breakthroughs was being consistent and doing something every day, and it worked. It paid off. Okay, have a good morning routine. Again, Robert Hollis, he has a morning routine, I know, because I've had the pleasure of speaking to Robert several times. If he doesn't do his morning routine, he's off. My NLP tutor had a morning routine. If he didn't do it, he was off, okay? And it's about developing these habits. If every morning you spent 15 minutes at least just reading a self-development book, watching some training, that sets you up for the day. Okay. Always be a student first. Habits again. Habits, habits, habits. You see in the common threads. Self-development, habits. Okay. Mindset, attitude. Okay. Belief. Treat it as a profession. It is a profession. If you wanted to be a dentist, you don't expect to join, start dentist school on Monday and be a dentist on Tuesday. You have to do your learning. It is a profession just the same. You do have to learn some skills. You do have to do some practicing. You do maybe have to invest in the tools and the training just like a dentist would, okay? Thing that came up a couple of times, so I put this in capitals here. Eliminate the fear of talking to people. That's what works at the end of the day. The biggest thing, eliminate the fear of talking to people. The hustle is the hustle. There's no getting around it. Books to read. GoPro. First year in network marketing. Professional Inviter by a guy called Tim Sales, who I've seen online. The Secret. Network Marketing for Dummies. And I'm going to add this one. Okay. How is that working? Absolutely incredible. The guy's created 47 millionaires. Right. Okay. So then Ray came back on. Okay. You have to risk rejection to succeed. You have to be willing to go out there and for people to call you an idiot, for people to say I don't agree with you, for people to say no to you. Remember, 7 no's for every 3 people that join. And that's the best recruiters. That's the best. Okay. So when you're new, are you going to get 3 out of 10? Possibly. Not likely. Don't be more concerned about how you look rather than making a difference. Okay? Don't be worried about how you come across, what people think of you, how you look. Be more concerned about actually making a difference in your life and impacting other people's lives. Keep recruiting. Don't worry about team success. Whoa, did you hear that? Don't worry about team success. I do. And it doesn't always serve me. Why? Because I'll give you an example. Had a guy contact me, said he needed help. I spent an hour on the phone with him, I think it was. He contacted me a few weeks later. He said, Paul, I need more help. So I spoke to him. And the first thing he said was, hi, Paul, just to let you know, everything you told me last time, I've not done any of it. And we spent another hour on the phone. It's 2 hours of my life I could have been recruiting, building my business. Now, I care about him being successful, but he's not done anything I told him to do. We do a lot for the team in our group's called the Shadow Commission Project. Okay, we do a hell of a lot, and I have spent hours talking to people, doing videos and stuff like that. And the more that I do this, the more I realize some people are just never going to do it. They can. They probably should, they probably need to, but they come up with excuses why not, why they can't. And I did the NLP training, and I'm seeing more and more how I can use that to help people. There's probably going to be some stuff coming from me that's going to try and help people get through that barrier of just not having success, because it's them holding them back. Okay, so his tip, don't worry about team success. You focus on building your business and lead the way and show them. Okay, big thing, big section about warm market versus cold market. Ray prefers cold market. I do too. I've always said, go to your warm market after you've built something in the cold market, because then you can go to your warm market and say, hey, listen, I've been doing this. These are my results just with people I don't know. Now it's time maybe, I want to take some people with me. They will listen because you've already got the result. So you are punished or rewarded for the life you lead before you start network marketing. Okay. Story that explains that. Let's suppose we're in Starbucks. Okay, and I stand up and say, hey everybody, I found this great business. I'd like you all to take a look at it. You can make some extra money. You could probably potentially change your life. Let me give you my link. Okay. Nobody knows me in Starbucks. Okay, how many people are going to look? Probably none. The door's open. Richard Branson walks in and says, hey guys, I don't know if any of you are interested in making some extra money, but I've got this great business that you should probably all go and look at if you want to make some extra money. Probably about 90% of the people in Starbucks will go and check that out because he's Richard Branson. And Ray makes the point about scripts, that if I have a script and Richard Branson has a script, it will work better for Richard Branson because he's Richard Branson. And a lot of people, they want, oh, got a script. They think the script is what's going to work, and it's not the script. It's the relationship that you've got with people. Now, a relationship doesn't mean you've necessarily spoken to them. I've never spoken to Richard Branson, but if you put something out there, you know what? I'll check it out. Robert Hollis recommended a book. I brought it the same day. I ordered it the same day. Why? Because he's Robert Hollis. I admire what he's done. I will buy the book. Eric Worre does an interview. He interviews people. In one of the interviews, one of the people he interviews mentions a book. I write it down. I'll buy it. Why? Because they've got a result I want. I've got a relationship with them. In fact, that I look up to them. Okay. Okay. So cold market. There's more of them. Okay. You run out of warm market eventually. So there's always more in your cold market. Okay. Okay. These things sometimes came off at a tangent, so sorry if it doesn't flow. When you are successful, people will be negative. They will want to discredit you, assume you always had it easy. Okay. They forget. I've gone to bed at 4 a.m. in the morning sometimes. I've literally worked all through 4 a.m. in the morning. Okay. And then I've had people tell me, oh, well, it's okay for you because you're naturally good at it. No. There's loads of books on the shelf there. There's loads of books in there that I've read at least once. Okay. There's hours of video trainings that I've watched when I could have been watching a movie. There's hours I've spent in this chair on this computer, and I can't call it work because I'm just chatting to people, right? I've made so many stupid mistakes you wouldn't believe. Anybody that knows me knows I can't spell because I use my tablet and it's got predictive text. And I keep meaning to turn it off, but it changes my text. I put out some really stupid stuff. Okay, I've sent out emails with the wrong link. I've done all sorts of the stupid mistakes. I spent hours and hours learning. I've failed at a couple of businesses. You know what I mean? I look at things I've done and I go, oh my God, I didn't do that. I could have done that better. You know, I beat myself up for it. I've put the effort in, guys, to get there. And then it's like, you know, some people say, yeah, well, you had it easy because you'd had this or because you did this, and it's just not the truth, guys. Any one of you can do it. I promise you, any one of you can do it. And it is so true. People will discredit you. I've had it. They assume you've always had it easy. You just got to let that go. He says, Ray finds it interesting that, and I heard him talk on another training that he did that I paid in one of his paid products, I think it was, that I brought. People are keen to tell him about their struggle. Okay, and the more you talk about your struggle, guys, the more it keeps you there, is what he said. I remember him saying that somebody won an hour coaching session with him, and so it was like, hey, you know, it's Ray, you know, congratulations on winning the competition. You got an hour with me. Let's go. What do you need help with? And they literally spent an hour telling him why they couldn't succeed. They just kept talking, and then this happened, and I don't know that I just don't be able to seem to contact with people, and I don't know, yada yada yada. And he stopped them at the hour and said, well, okay, listen, the hour's up, so I hope you found that useful. He said, I barely said 5 words to them. Okay, so don't be caught up in your struggle, guys. Don't focus on where you are or where you were. Big NLP thing. Don't focus on where you were. Just focus on where you want to be. Focus on where you're going. Okay. If you've been through struggles, it is your duty to be successful so you can share your journey. Okay. Cold market are better because they don't know your history. They don't know your current results. Okay. And when dealing with cold market, be the type of person you would want to sign up with. Okay. Okay. Some people won't talk to their warm market as well. So if you learn warm market recruiting and you teach it to your team, they're not going to be able to do it, some of them, because they will not talk to their warm market. Okay. Okay, if you've got social respect and rapport, like I was talking about Richard Branson, almost anything you say will work. If you don't have that sort of respect and rapport with people, though, focus on the product. Okay. So, right, okay, so this is for warm market. He's given this line. You might want to write this one down because it's killer. Listen, I've never come to you with this sort of thing before. I've never come to you with this sort of thing before, but this is different. I am doing it. I am going to rock it. I'd love to rock it with you. Okay. I'd like you to take a look. I'm going to do it anyway, whether you do or not. I'd love to do it with you, but either way is cool. I didn't put that over very well because I had to scribble this down. Listen, I never come to you with this sort of thing before, Bill, but I've joined it and this is different. Okay. Now I'm gonna crush it. I'm gonna do well in this. Okay. And I'd love to crush it with you. I'd love to do it together, but I'm gonna do it anyway, whether you do or not. Anyway, I'd love you to take a look. Either way is cool. Are you open? Along those lines. He talks about the words don't matter so much as the philosophy and the meaning behind it, okay? He likes to go for business owners because they understand profit and loss. They understand business. They understand this is a business, okay? Right, burnt market approach. Now, burnt market is for people that if you like me, you've done a few things on your journey. Ray's been in a lot of companies, okay, and failed in all of them pretty much until he started working it around. So another thing you might want to write down, I am doing this new business and I know for certain that this business is not a fit for you, but I think you might like the product. Again, I know you have zero interest in the business, but check out this brief video about the product. Okay, you can always pause and rewind, guys, if you haven't got this down. I am doing this new business and I know for certain this isn't a fit for you, Bill, but I thought you might like the product. I think it might be really good for you. Again, listen, I know you've got no interest in the business, but will you check out this brief video on the product? And he says people will often come back and say, well, why isn't it a fit for me? Well, I didn't think you were into these sort of things, but I mean, by all means, I can send you a video if you think it will, but I know you're generally not into these, you know. Anyway, he's recruited people like that as well. You should never beg, chase, convince, or bug people. Never chase them. Never. Positioning. Never try and convince them because you won't change their mind anyway. Never bug people, okay? You should never act small, weak, needy, or desperate, okay? You should never be quick to qualify because you never know. But you should manage the energy and positioning. A couple of things, if you do home parties, if you do hangouts, okay, maybe don't bitch and whine about the people that didn't show, okay? Because you can imagine if you've got somebody on who turns up at a home party or on a hangout and you go, there's meant to be like 10 other people on here, but they haven't shown up. What impression is that giving to the people that have shown up? How to handle no-shows. So if you're doing a webinar and you've got people that said they're going to be there, or a home party and they said they'll definitely be there but they don't show up, contact them after and go, hey, sorry you couldn't make it, Bill, just wanted to follow up with you, but obviously I've got a bunch of people that did come and I need to work with those, so I'm just letting you know I will follow up with you, but if you could give me like maybe, I don't know, say a week, then I promise I'll come back to you. I've just got to get through these people first, if that's okay. And then Bill's going to be, what? What's going on? Why has he said that? What's going on there? Maybe I should have gone. I'm missing out. Closing expectations. It can take tens or hundreds of hours to master closing. Okay. A line he uses to close people or to see if they're ready to buy is lower the tone. Well, it sounds to me like you're ready to get started. Okay, it's a statement, not a question. Different to, well, it sounds to me like you're ready to get started. So you go up at the end. That's a question. Sounds to me like you're ready to get started. Bill, it sounds to me like you're ready to get started. That's the statement. Cold market problem though is stranger danger. Okay, people are brought up as kids. Be wary of strangers. Ray suggests you surround yourself with people that have a similar future, not a similar past. And he talks about a lot of his, when he was at college, he used to get in trouble. He used to sort of hang around with the wrong crowd quite often. So he doesn't want to hang around those people. He's grown up. Okay, he wants to hang around with people whose future have a similar future. Okay, do something worthy of creating a legacy. Think of, you know, what are your great-grandchildren going to say in the future about you? Pain pushes you until you have a vision that pulls you. You need a vision that will pull you. Okay. Right, script for cold market. This will work for the phone or in person. Now, we talked about this, and we've suffered this in Shadow Commission Project. When we put some marketing swipe out there or a script, this script is for phone or in person. And Ray says he's given people scripts and then they've gone and posted it on social media and come back to him and says, Ray, it doesn't work. And he said, okay, well, how did the conversation go? And they go, no, I'll put it on my Facebook. You know, it's not meant for that, okay? And also we've seen people with this swipe copy we've done where they've literally put out name. If you are wondering, you know, not name, it's like, no, you meant to put name. And I've even done links where it says shadowcommissionproject.com/offer/insert your business username here, and people have put that link out, and of course it doesn't work. Right, so you need a break in communication, okay? So breaking communication works like this. Listen, guys, I've got to finish this webinar now because I've got another webinar to jump onto, literally 5 minutes. So just curious though, okay, this is the script if you want to write it down. Just curious though, would you be at all open to a side project if it didn't interfere with your real estate business or whatever it is you're doing, okay? If it didn't interfere with what you're currently doing. So listen, I've got to jump off in a couple of minutes. I've got that webinar. But just curious, are you at all open to a side project if it didn't interfere with what you're currently doing? And then people will go, well, what is it? Do you remember I just mentioned that webinar? I haven't got the time to go through it now. So listen, how about I send you the information, okay? And then I promise that I'll make a note now and I promise I'll come back to you, okay? So he talked about that. The psychology behind it is, are you at all? At all means anything, okay? Are you at all? So that's a scale from 0 to 100, whatever. Are you at all open? Well, I'm 1% open. You are open though. And are you open? I've told people this before because I learned it from Ray and they've gone, I've asked people if they're interested. That doesn't work. Are you interested? You can be interested or not. Are you open? Who wants to come back and say, I'm not open? But people will say, no, I'm not interested, thanks. I'm not interested. But they don't want to say, no, I'm actually closed-minded. Nobody wants to say that. So are you at all open? And again, this is an NLP. If I say to somebody, are you at all open? Yeah, I am open, 1%, but I'm open at all. You know, I'm at 1% open, and nobody wants to be closed-minded. So yes, most people are going to say yes, of course. So when they ask, you can say, look, it's been great chatting to you, but I need to go and do that webinar. Just curious, would you be open? You know, that's another way of doing it. Nobody wants to be closed. Okay. Ray has made over $1 million in network marketing. Okay. And he never, ever did the presentation when he did this. Although he was more than capable and did home meetings and presented, and has probably been on a ton of videos, I don't know, but he never did the presentation, even though he's more than capable. Why? Because if I'm talking to you and I give you a presentation, you assume that you have to learn to do what I do. If you send somebody a DVD, I'm talking old school now, but if you send somebody the website link to watch the video online, okay, the tool does the work. Anybody can send a link once you've got to the point where you can send it, okay? And that's the bit that people miss. They just spam the links, okay? So Ray never did the presentation, even though he could, okay? He used the tools, and that's what you should do. That's what the tools are there for, okay? And when you say, I promise, listen, Bill, I promise I'll get back to you. I will, I promise. That implies that you are doing them a favor because you are going out of your way to get back to them. Not, have a look, tell me what you think. They have to do something for you. You're promising that you'll go out of your way to follow up with them. Okay. Another line, I love this one. Listen, it may or may not be a fit for you. This video will help us determine that. It may or may not be a fit for you, but this video will determine that for you. So you'll know. It's only 10 minutes, Bill, but that video will let you know if it's a fit for you or not. Ray says, if you do that, the breaking communication line, and if you do that, you know, it may or may not be a fit for you. You will get numbers, and as we all know, basically, it's a numbers game. You need numbers to practice on in the early days too. Okay. Talked about going to network meetings. I won't cover that because I don't know that people do necessarily. Talked about recruiting in restaurants, which again, you know, we're predominantly social media guys. So I won't necessarily go through all that. Right, okay, so we're coming to the end now. So this is the last bit. So posture. The belief of what you are doing, regardless of external acceptance or approval. And he quotes the movie The Matrix, where I can't think of the guy's name now. Morpheus. Okay, if you've seen the film The Matrix, you know Morpheus believes that Keanu Reeves, was it Neo, is the chosen one. And some people go to Morpheus and they say, do you know what? Not everybody believes that he is the chosen one. And he says, Morpheus says, my belief doesn't require others to, or the worst of those effects. My belief does not require them to believe. Okay, so your posture is you have the belief in what you are doing, regardless of external acceptance or approval. And the big thing that you finish with is if you lack consistency, it's because you lack vision. And from, again, you know, I'm bringing in Robert Hollis because, you know, I'm learning so much from Robert. I've learned that as well because everything on my vision board I've achieved. Okay, and I'm having to readjust now to have that vision of, okay, I was working to get to Cornwall. That's happening. So what am I working for now? And I'm still determining that. And one of the things that I want to do is really help a lot of people. Okay, so I'm going to put this on a page. I'm going to put this link. You can get that book for free under here. Okay, that helps people. Okay, and that's free, so that's a gift. There's also the chance to check out his Life Mechanic University. Okay, it's 99 bucks. It's awesome value. I'll put a link to, well, you'll get, when you get the book, you'll get offered the chance to get into the Life Mechanic University, and I'll put a couple of other links under there. I'll see if we've got some Ray Higdon stuff that I can put under for you as well. So you'll have resources you can go to after this, okay? So I hope you found that useful. I know that's a bit kind of boring, probably listen to me, what's the time now? So I've been on about, I don't know, 50 minutes something. But I know some of you couldn't wait for this and will be scribbling notes. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it made sense. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video, and check out the resources below. Cheers.